Hi guys, and welcome to this Bootstrap 4 tutorial. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, I had a question on one of my videos. A gentleman's got a Google map on his site and he wants to disable the actual mouse scrolling until somebody actually clicks on it. And he's provided me with a bit of script here that didn't work for him. Well, I'm sure there's an easy way of doing this, but I don't know what it is. But I've got a workaround. Having done these sort of things for so long, so I usually figure out a workaround, and this is what I do in this situation. Rather than messing around with scripts trying to disable the mouse on hover for this, I'm sure some Java wizard would be able to do it very easily. I can use a bit of jQuery and have a div that's got a background image that looks like this, that when you click on it, it'll disappear and it'll bring up the live map. That's going to be my workaround. So that's what we're going to do in this particular video here. So let's open our brackets text editor. Brackets awesome, it's free. You can download it from a link below this video. Let's go down to our map. Here's our map. Here's the iframe. Our map division or divider has got a class of gmap. Let's add another div just above it. Div, and we'll give it a class of something else. What should we call it? Let's give it a class of, well, that one's gmap, so let's call this imap for image map. And I'll show you why I'll call it that, why I'm calling it image. What I've done is I just brought up this map in a larger view. I've done a screenshot of it and I've cropped an image out that's the same size as this Google map here, which is, well, it's not the same width, but it's the same height. It's 450 high, which this thing is here. And so I'm going to have this div have a background image of this map here. Just to show you, here's my little site folder here with my images I've been using. There's a little map in there. It's actually 1904 by 672, but we're going to tell it to cover the background and tell it to be 450 high. So it should be the same dimensions as what we've got going on here. So let's continue this. And in the middle of this, we want a bit of text of some sort. Let's say H3. I'll give it a class as well. And I'll call it, let's call it map text or map text. And I've missed my bracket off at the end of there because I was talking. So let's put that on there, a pointed bracket. There we are. That's a bit better. Okay, and let's have a closing tag there. And what should we say? Click for live map. That way when they click on this, it'll flip over to the live map. Alright, so we've got all the elements we need there, the div imap and the div gmap for the iframe. Let's do a bit of CSS up here. And we'll start with the imap, which is dot, because it's a class. And what do we want it to do? Well, first thing, we want to give it a background image, so it's background. There it is right there. I may as well just use that. And the URL of the image is in my folder, which is called img, which is pretty common, img. And there it is. It's found it right there. And the actual image is called map, funnily enough. There it is right there. So we put that in there. And it's got a background image now. Now we want to tell it how big we want it to be, so semicolon because we're adding another line. and we'll say background size. What do we want it to do? We want it to cut. Oh, it's prompted us again. Well done. Brackets. It's really handy. We want it to cover the whole background. And we want it the same height as our iframe here. And you can see from the code here, we've got the width of 100%, so it's going all the way across. We've got a height of 450, which is 450 pixels. So we're going to give it a height of 450 pixels. Okay. That's probably all we actually need CSS-wise. We might need some to reposition this little bit of text right here. So let's just save this and see what we've got. We should have now a sort of clone on top of our map here. We should have another thing like this on top of the map, which is darker, and somewhere on it it's going to have that bit of text. So let's just refresh. There it is. There's our text. There's our map image. This is our live map below. So of course we want to hide this. We'll do this with a bit of jQuery in a minute. And let's move this text here into the middle somewhere. And let's make it white. So let's go back to our brackets. Or make it a light color that stands out. Let's map T. So our IMAP class, let's add text light. That will make that text a light color that will stand out against the background. And we'll also say text center, which will center align that text. And once we've got it aligned center, we're going to need to push it down. If it was a row, we could justify it somehow, but it's not. And that H3's got a class of its own. Map T, map text. So let's just use a bit of CSS. Map T. And open and close some curlies. And what do we want to do? We want to push it down. So we'll say padding top. And we know it's 450. We want it halfway down, so let's try 225 pixels, which is half of 450. All right, save that. See what we've got now. That's a bit more like it. So we've got the map, the live map, and the map image here, and we've got that nice click legend in the middle there. So what we want to do is we want to hide this bottom one. Actually, we want to have this one live. And then when we click on this one, we want it to flip over to the new one. So let's add a bit of script. Let's come down a little ways. And we'll start at the bottom of these scripts here. Let's just open some script tags. Bit of space in between. Now then, what do we want it to do? Well, let's start with our $sign. And we want to hide that element, so which is gmap up there. So let's just open some regular round brackets, and in between those round brackets we're going to have some single inverted comma, and we want that class name. Now it's a class name, so we want .gmap. So there's a class gmap, so we want .gmap. Okay, so we've got that in there. Now what we want to do, we want it to hide, so we'll say .hide. So it should be hidden from the get-go, and we'll just open some round brackets there. And on the end we want to put semicolon. All right, now we want to talk about this next one here, which is the gmap. No, which is the IMAP rather, which is the one that we want to click on to hide. So let's do same thing, $, curly bracket. And this time, single inverted comma, we're going to do IMAP. So we want to target this div right here. Now, what do we want it to do? We want it to do something when we click. So we're going to say .click. And then we'll tell it this is a function. So open some round brackets again. And we want to open and close some more round brackets here at the end, which is common. Then we want to open some curly brackets. Let's drop down, and in between these curly brackets, we want to tell it what we want to kind of flip between, which is going to be $sign again. Open some round brackets. We could actually just copy what we've got at the top here. Let's do that. That'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Let's just copy this. So it's going to be the same. We want to say click, zip. We'll paste that in there. And the first one we want is to hide the IMAP. And then right underneath that, we're going to do exactly the same thing again. But we want to show the GMAP. So this time we want to tell it to show it rather than hide it. So there's the GMAP, and we want to say show. That is pretty much all we're going to need to do, I think. Let me just have a look through, make sure I haven't missed anything off, because as I'm sure you know, when you're coding like this, you get anything wrong, it's not going to work. I'm yakking while I'm talking this. I'm talking while I'm doing this, which quite often makes me miss stuff. That looks correct. That looks correct. All right, let's save that. Control S, go back to our site. Once we refresh, this should disappear. If it doesn't, I've done something wrong. Good, it's gone. Right, now when I click down on here, it's flipped over to that live map. And that, I think, is what you wanted. Because it starts off, whereas you can scroll down, there's nothing going to happen here. It's just a dead area. So you can scroll past it if you want. But if you want a live map, you can click on it. Bingo, there's your live map right there. So I hope that's answered your question. Like I say, there's probably an easier way of doing that, or a better way of doing that, but that's the way I do it to get around that little problem there, and that works for me. Simple bit of jQuery, you can just click and switch over divs, and there you've got your live map. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channels. If you're interested in web development, take one of our courses below. We've got some great free courses as well as some premium courses with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers. So take a look. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and WebDesignerTechTips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.